And over to VR Education and David Whelan.
Hi, afternoon, everybody. Thanks for staying.
Greetings, David. Yes, exactly. Let's see how many people. Yes, you've still got an audience, David. They've not all gone away.
Excellent. I'm just going to share my screen first. 1 sec.
Great. And then
Okay.
I'll jump into my introduction to you.
Okay.
So VR Education is an early stage virtual reality software and technology group based in Waterford, Ireland. The presentation by CEO David Whelan will provide an overview of progress for the group's online virtual social learning and presentation platform, Engage, a platform group for creating, sharing, and delivering proprietary and third-party VR content. No doubt David will explain that in layman's terms as to what it actually means. VR Education is listed on both AIM in London and the enterprise securities market in Dublin. Over to you, David.
Okay, thanks very much, Donald. So this presentation is quite short. I only have 6 or 7 slides in total. Really what this presentation is really focused on is the delivery of Engage and the traction that we're receiving this year. And I'm going to start with just a brief overview of the company. So I am David Whelan. I'm the CEO of VR Education. We're still quite a young company. We're going about 5 years. And we are an Irish-based company, hence you can hear the very strong Irish accent coming at you through your speakers right now. There's 2 components to the company. The much smaller component of the company is our content development team, and they create what we call showcase game educational experiences. And these have been very popular for us in the past. We've released titles on the PlayStation Store, on the Oculus Store, on many of the main virtual reality stores, and these would be edutainment products. And some of the most popular titles we've had in the past have been Apollo 11, which has sold quite strongly, Titanic VR, which has sold as well quite well. Actually, just today or yesterday, we released Shuttle Commander, our next showcase experience. But that's a very small part of the business, and it's we have about 3 dedicated people building these showcase experiences. But the rest of our staff, we have 52 staff at the moment. Everybody else is dedicated to the Engage platform. We have some really strong partners and clients. We're working with the European Commission on the Engage platform. We're working with Oxford University, who have held an event on the Engage platform, an X Prize. And actually, if you have a look at that image you can see there on the right-hand side is from one of our partners, one of our very strong partners, HTC. Some of you might have read back in earlier this year, in the first half of this year, HTC held an event inside Engage, which was actually cancelled because of COVID-19. It was due to be held on the Chinese mainland, and obviously that was cancelled. HTC came to us and asked could they host the event virtually inside our Engage platform. We said absolutely, and we hosted the event. And even before the event finished, I got a phone call from the president of HTC China with about an hour or 2 to go within the event. They wanted to invest in the company, and they came in and they purchased a 20% stake in the company in the first half of this year, which I will talk about later in this presentation. We have a quite strong board as well. We have the current CEO of Virgin Ireland. We also have the co-founder of Pixar. He's an advisory member to the board, Lauren Carpenter. So just what is the Engage platform? I'm going to play this video in the background. You're not going to hear any audio. I'm just going to talk over it. So the Engage platform, originally it was designed as a training and development platform. So over the past 4 years, we've been creating this platform with a mind of this is the virtual classroom where you can have students logged in from all over the world in a virtual environment, getting taught from the best teachers around the world. And that's how we proceeded to produce the platform over quite a few years. And then up until last year, so last year just gone, Engage was primarily offered on PC-based VR devices, where you would need a computer with a headset connected to the computer to actually experience Engage. But last year, Oculus released the Oculus Quest headset, and HTC released the Vive Focus headset. These are standalone VR devices where you don't need a PC. You literally take it out of your bag, you put it on your head, and you get a good end user experience. Engage was released on those products earlier this year. And we've actually seen a big pickup in users, and I'm going to talk about the user numbers and the revenue in a moment. But Engage has actually got more and more traction, and it's not just in the education space. We're actually seeing a lot of corporations using Engage for business meetings and events. We're hosting lots of conferences inside Engage as well. And even an event like today, we could host this inside Engage. Instead of you watching a video presentation and hearing my voice through the screen, we could actually be sitting in a virtual auditorium where I'm standing, giving a presentation up on a screen, going through a PowerPoint presentation. But the thing with Engage is that it can replicate everything you do in the real world. We can replicate that in the virtual world. So when you log in, there's a virtual version of you inside the platform. You can go, you can shake hands with somebody, you can give PowerPoint presentations, as I said, you can bring in 3D objects because it is virtual reality. You can stream in any media from any web source. You can link it to Google Docs, OneDrive, and you can do PowerPoint presentations. And when COVID really hit hard in Ireland, back in March, we haven't been back to the office since March. We host all our daily stand-ups and all our meetings inside the platform. That's actually made the platform a lot better to use. So really, what we're going to talk about next is the uptake in Engage this year. So Engage has grown quite significantly over the past 9 months, with rapid adoption happening after Q1 of 2020. And this trend is continuing and in many areas accelerating further as we progress towards 2021, with significant deals and partnerships coming on stream for next year. So some highlights for 2020. The total value of Engage deals signed this year, including platform revenue, is 1.8 million in total. Engage user numbers have grown 600% in 12 months, up from 5,000 users to 35,000 users this year. And we're actually seeing an acceleration in user numbers towards, again, the second half of this year. Expected Engage revenue growth for 2020 is up 500%, up from 100,000 in 2019. Again, a large proportion of that is because Engage now is available on standalone VR devices. You don't need a PC to experience Engage. 65% of all Engage revenue generated is recurring revenue. So we have a subscription model on the platform where people would sign up for accounts. And we've signed over 50 commercial deals as of October 31st of this year, which is up from 3 deals in 2019. So you can actually see there's a massive amount of growth within the platform. And this is all on the back of 2 business developers. So really, as we look forward to 2021 and 2022, we're really looking, what will we do with 10 business developers? What will we do with 20? And also with our partners, HTC, which I'll get to now in a moment. So how are we generating revenue through the platform, and what's our routes to market? So Engage has a few different sectors that we can service. So we do service education and learning, where people can provide distance learning, or schools and educational institutes might have a bank of VR headsets where they will log in and they provide learning experiences through our platform. Engage has also been used for training and development. So we're seeing quite a lot of medical training applications being used within the platform. One of those top tier university, Stanford University, use Engage for medical training. Then we have team collaboration. So we're seeing more and more accounts being signed up on Engage, people wanting to use it for business meetings and sticky note sessions and whiteboard sessions and daily stand-ups and Kanban boards. Engage has been used quite a lot for that, and we've seen a lot of traction, especially in the second half of this year in that area. And also Engage has been used for conferences and events. So we've hosted events for Yahoo in China, we've hosted events for HTC, hosted events for the X Prize Foundation, hosted events for Vodafone as well. So there's a lot of people, a lot of industries and enterprise clients testing out Engage by hosting like a small event in Engage. Then they're finding out about, okay, actually this can be used for a lot more, and they're starting to sign up for enterprise accounts. So how are we getting these clients? So we're getting a lot of people coming directly to us from our own website. So our website for Engage is very well optimized. My own background, actually, I used to be a web developer, so I know how to SEO a website properly. And we're getting direct clients from the website. We're also getting subscriptions directly from our website. We also have channel partners as well. So just in the last few weeks, we released Engage on the Oculus store, the official Oculus store, the Oculus Quest store. And we've seen 14,000 people download the application. About 14,000 people download the application within a few days on the Oculus Quest. And that Quest is actually becoming very, very popular. But we also have Engage available on the Steam network and other networks, such as the Viveport store in China. And we also have resellers and partners. So this is where I'm going to talk a little bit more about HTC. So not only when HTC became an investor in the company, they also became a reseller and partner. And we signed an agreement with HTC where they can resell Engage services inside the Greater China region on a revenue share basis. And then outside of China, they can also resell Engage services on a revenue share basis, but they have exclusivity in the Greater China region. Now, HTC are a fantastic company to deal with. They're a very big company, not as big as they used to be because they have sold off their phone business, but they're very much invested in virtual reality and augmented reality. They're all in on it. They are really focused on enterprise and education, and we're working very closely with our partner at HTC. They're releasing new hardware in the coming year. We're working very closely with HTC on making a very compelling solution for enterprise clients and education clients, and that's all coming on stream next year. And only 4 weeks ago, we actually released Engage in China. So we have a Chinese version of Engage hosted on Chinese servers, which is a very unusual thing for a company of our size, where normally it takes a huge amount of resources. But again, working with HTC, having a partner on the ground, a trusted partner that actually works hand in hand with the Chinese government, is a really good feather in our cap in getting Engage deployed in that area. And we also have revenue coming in from support and services. And then sometimes there's custom work involved on Engage, where we might get a client looking to have custom branding or custom locations on the platform. So these are some of the partnerships and some of the clients that we've signed up this year. So in training and development, Facebook are a client of ours now. They've signed up for an enterprise account, which we're hoping will grow more significant very, very shortly. Virtual College are a training provider in the UK, very well-known training provider with over 4 million customers. They're using Engage as well, and they're trying it with some of their customers. SNCF are the train service provider in France. They're using it for training and development. On the education side, we've more education here because that's what we were focused on previously. Oxford University have been using the platform to provide remote lectures. Stanford University, as I said, have been using it to provide medical training lectures. The University of Arizona, a massive university in the US, are using Engage. Victory XR actually are one of our partners, where they provide content through a platform and resell it to their own customers. Our resellers then would be Labaki, Mace Virtual Labs, and HTC. They would be the main resellers, where they're reselling our services at a minimum cost that we provide, and then they add on top of that. And then some of our big clients who are using it for team collaboration, Fidelity Investments and Facebook would be the two main proponents. They, especially during COVID-19, they closed down a lot of their offices, so they have a lot of team members spread all over the country. And the way that they communicate with each other is using our platform. I think it's very, very telling that Facebook themselves have signed up for a commercial account with us to use it within their teams for events and for collaboration. Facebook have their own platform called Facebook Horizons, but that's really focused on social interactions. They're really looking after kind of a younger crowd, whereas Engage really is focused on professionals and educators. And again, just with some of the events that we've hosted in the past, we've hosted events for the European Commission, X Prize Foundation, Ericsson, Vodafone, HTC, Yahoo, and we have other events that we have in the pipeline coming towards the end of this year and early next year. So just looking ahead to next year and beyond, we're totally focused on the growth and partnerships for Engage. The HTC revenue stream from China has, again, we've just literally deployed in China. That's going to come on stream in 2021. We're also working hand in hand with HTC on the next wave of virtual devices coming out next year. Engage will also be available very, very soon on iOS and Apple products. So one of the core things that we see happening, especially when people want to host events on Engage, is that maybe the hosts themselves will have VR headsets and they'll be presenting, but the majority of users will just want to log in on our mobile phones and tablets. Engage has been available on Android phones for the past few months, and very soon it's going to be available on Apple products. We released Engage on the Facebook Oculus Store, and actually it was 15,000 installs in just over 14 days. So we're getting a lot of new users on the platform. We do expect virtual event revenue to grow quickly in 2021. So even with COVID, a vaccine just around the corner, We think that virtual events are here to stay. There's a lot of businesses and a lot of companies are finding that they can actually do a hell of a lot with people working at home and over Skype, where they don't need to get in a car, travel an hour and a half to go to work and back. I do feel that the world is going to have a new normal once this vaccine comes out. It's not going to go back to the way it was pre-COVID. A lot of our smaller paid trial customers are now upgrading to full enterprise packages, and we're actually seeing that, especially over the past couple of months. And we're currently working with a lot of our partners to sign them up to commercial deals for 2021. And we do expect that our reseller partnerships will grow more and more and actually start to bear a lot of fruit for 2021. And also, we're currently going through ISO certification and FedRAMP qualification. So a lot of the potential enterprise clients that we're talking to are government agencies, especially in America. They require FedRAMP qualification, where you go through a certain type of security protocol where you can actually host their information. And we expect all of that to come online in the first half of 2021. So that's a brief overview of the company, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, David, you managed to take me by surprise there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was looking at the scheduled time there. It was a little bit short. I always find actually I'm more natural when I take questions. I'm not a natural PowerPoint person. I get very jaded when I go through slide after slide after slide. I'm much better when I'm fed questions, to be honest.
Well, I would have to say, if that's you jaded, I wouldn't like to see you in full flow.
I also urge people to tend to talk very quickly as things stand anyway. So
it's all right. I'm Scottish, David. I get it. You know, we talk quickly too. Cool. Now, can I kick off the Q&A by asking you, know, to what extent has the pandemic actually changed the market that you work in? You know, the virtual learning, the training, the events market, and will that ever return to normal, or is this advanced and accelerated growth and increased interest? Is that here to stay?
Yeah. So the adoption that we would have expected to be maybe 2 to 4 years has actually happened between 2 and 4 months. So in March, everybody jumped on Zoom. So they had a huge spike in user numbers, and anybody who needs to use video-based communications, they're already on the platform. But what we found is that a lot of these people who jumped onto Zoom trying to host virtual events and conferences, what they were finding is that the events that they were hosting, the virtual events that they were hosting, they were just watching PowerPoint presentation after PowerPoint presentation. And for keynote talkers and the people who were attending the event couldn't really communicate with each other. Kind of similar to what we're doing now, whereas in a fully virtual event on the Engage platform, each person has their own virtual body and they can move around within the environment. They can go up to exhibition centers exactly the same as would in the real world. They can have private hallway conversations. So it was a more interactive way of communicating. And really, this is what we're gunning after. Like, Zoom is the communication tool of today, and video-based communication, and Teams, Microsoft Teams. But really, we want, when people talk about online communication, they say, oh, I'm going to Zoom you later, or I'll Skype you later. In the next couple of years, we want people to say, let's engage later. I'm going to engage with you later. That's where we're positioning the platform. It's no longer a training and development platform. We see Engage as a next generation communications tool. And that's why we're seeing such a wide variety of use cases on the platform recently.
Okay, David, I'm going to stop you there. This is your elevator pitch to London Southeast. Let's say we were going to do this, instead of doing it on Zoom, this conference on Zoom. Let's say we were going to do it on Engage at a very granular level. Do people need headsets? How exactly what are the different barriers to entry to actually using Engage?
No, they don't need headsets. The headsets actually are quite inexpensive. So you can get the Oculus Quest is $300. You can get it in any store. Fantastic device, really good experience. But people can download Engage on their mobile phone and tablet now and experience Engage. So they can walk around using their thumbs, move into different areas. they can actually view previous events that we've had inside, because we have a spatial recording system where this event is live. So I'm talking to you, Donald, live, and this is a video presentation, and you're recording this, and then tomorrow you're going to make the video available to everybody. But the video is always going to be the same. It's never going to be different. What we have inside Engage is a spatial recording system where if somebody's giving a live presentation, we don't only record their audio, we actually record the positional data of their avatar inside the Engage platform. And as they move in the real world, their avatar will move in the virtual world. So it gives a sense of presence. So you can sit down from the point of view of participants and replay that over again, or you can move to a different area, or you can get up out of your seat and walk down the exhibition hall and experience what it was like during the event. It's not just watching a video. And one of the really cool things about Engage is our actual saving format. So you're saving a video right now, which is about an hour long. You're looking at possibly about 2 gigabytes worth of video because to get it any pretty decent quality. On Engage, an hour-long piece of content, even recording everybody else in the room, is 80 megabytes, because all we record is positional data, which is a big text file, and the audio is all compressed into an MP3 file, and an hour-long MP3 file is only about 50 megabytes. So we have very small file formats, which is very, very easy for sharing. And not only can you share those recordings, you can edit those recordings later by adding in special effects, and you'll see some of that stuff on our website where as somebody is talking about maybe train maintenance, a train can actually pull up next to the person and they can pull that train apart. We're offering something that just can't be done on any other platform, and that's why I think this company is very interesting.
How much might it cost us? You know, I'm using us as an example, but you know, is it relatively inexpensive? Or you said that $300 for a headset was inexpensive, so I'm slightly worried. How much will it cost?
So like on our licenses for Engage users, we have a free version of Engage, where if you're hosting an event, anybody who wants to attend the event, they just download the platform and log in, very similar to Zoom. It's the event organizer who's actually paying for the event. But our events start at 10,000 euros and can go all the way up to 100,000 euros, depending on the exact requirements of the client and how much hand-holding that we might have to do in the background. Our enterprise user accounts start at 300 euros per user per year. So that'll give you a kind of an idea. And our deal sizes on the Engage platform, they're around, like the average kind of deal size is around 10 to 15,000 euros. But like some of the deals can be 50, 100,000 euros. But we're actually seeing bigger deals happening right now, because a lot of the early adopters of Engage, who are enterprise clients who've been using the platform over the past 6 months, who might have only got maybe a 5 or 10 grand license, are now upgrading to say 40, 50,000 euro licenses. But with the HTC partnership, they already have many ties with large corporations. Like China Telecom, as an example, is a big client of HTC, or has been in the past. Who's to say that HTC don't sign a deal with China Telecom and we have millions of users on the platform very, very quickly? These are the kind of areas of where we're focused. We're not focused on small clients getting $2,000 or $3,000 here and there. We're actually focused on partnering with these large corporations to roll it out in a big way.
Okay, here's a question for you. With Facebook investing heavily in VR, how long before VR chat becomes mainstream and normal? And how is Engage positioned to take advantage of this?
So Mark Zuckerberg last year, before COVID-19 hit, said he's going to put 1 billion people into VR in the next 4 to 5 years. And that was before COVID hit. Now, when COVID hit in March, it was a double-edged sword. So we've seen a huge amount of adoption of VR. Everybody wanted VR headsets because they were trapped in their house. They wanted an escape, because you put on a VR headset, you can sit on a virtual beach, or you can go to the virtual moon, or wherever you want to go, and you feel like you're getting an escape. But what happened is all the production of VR headsets really slowed down, because many of the components were actually made in China. All of that has been resolved now, and we're actually seeing massive user numbers. Facebook don't release how many headsets, or the sales of how many headsets that they sell each year. But if you try go and find an Oculus Quest in a shop today, you're going to really struggle. It's one of the hot selling tickets this year. And then with HTC, our partner, coming out next year with a solely focused enterprise and education headset, this is something that we're certainly in the frame for. We expect to have some big announcements next year on it.
The audience have suddenly woken up and the questions are beginning to flood in. I've been asked by Leo Macaulay to ask you to get some information on the financials. And for me, the financials would be, have you broken even? When will you break even? What's your turnover like? Just fill us in. Give us a thumbnail sketch on your financial situation, your balance sheet.
Yeah, we haven't broken even yet. This year, we will be releasing more information into the market quite soon. We have a healthy chunk of money in the bank. I don't know actually how much of that information is currently shared on the markets, but we did do a small raise, getting HTC on board back in March, which was 3 million euros. Majority of that is still there, and our burn rate is very, very small. We're very frugal with how we spend our money, and very smart with how we spend our money as well. The only outlay that we have are developer wages, and we don't burn a lot each month.
Okay, Sam Moreland is on this too, and he reiterates the Google and Facebook point that we heard earlier. They're investing heavily in VR. How can you hope to compete and stay cutting edge with what he describes as 1 million euros of revenues and 3 million euros of cash?
Well, revenues will be more than that, but what I would say is hugely telling is Facebook have all the money in the world, and they've been building Facebook Horizons for 2 years, and yet they still come to us looking for enterprise licenses because they need to use it in their business. HTC were building a competing platform as well.
Are you saying that you're more nimble and better than they are?
I'm not going to say better, but we're doing something right anyway, and I think it really bears fruit with the amount of up 500% this year with just 2 business developers. That's a crazy number in anybody's book. If we do the same next year, who knows where we're going to go over the next 2 or 3 years. We have a really strong development team of experts. It just takes 1 or 2 geniuses in your organization to make something that everybody will love. Like if you look back at Minecraft as an example, that was a single developer that poured his heart and soul into that product, and it was sold for billions after that. We have those type of developers in our organization, and the showcase experiences, which I just talked about briefly at the very beginning, they have been a key attraction to top talent to the company. We've won so many awards because of those. What happens is we get these really quality developers contacting us going, geez, I really like that experience. What are you guys working on? We start up a conversation. I end up hiring those people then if I feel that they're good for the company.
So a very blunt question. What sort of revenues is the Engage platform capable of achieving?
Well, as I alluded to, if we're getting, it's a subscription basis. If we get millions of users on the platform over the next 3 to 4 years, you're talking many millions of dollars in revenue. Like we're looking at making this company into $1 billion company in the next 2 to 4 years. That's what my sole aim is. I want people to talk about us the same as they talk about Zoom today. That's exactly where we're heading, and that's the kind of company that we're trying to build here.
At what point do you take an exit from that $1 billion company, though, David?
I'm very passionate about the company. I have 32% stakeholding still with my wife. I'd only step away if I feel I'm not bringing anything further to the table. If I feel the business can grow further with somebody else, that's when I will start questioning my involvement. But just to give a little background about me, I started this business 5 years ago with zero money. I had to get €1,000 loan from my sister to start this business. And what happened was I had to get that €1,000 loan to buy some assets, to build a demo that I couldn't pay to even get the demo made, which I then put on Kickstarter, which actually got me 34 grand. And then I got some government funding, which was 50 grand. Like we started this business on zero revenue. And then we were I think 2 years ago, we were the first tech company in 17 years to list on the Irish Stock Exchange. And we listed on AIM at the same time. So we're always overachieving and we always aim high. I'm a very, I won't say impatient person, but I always think I'm 6 months behind where I should be. But then when we talk about our story, and I think this is the first time we shared some numbers with Engage today, people are kind of surprised going, do you know what, actually they've achieved a hell of a lot. And most of those numbers that I talked about today have been achieved in the last 6 months.
I have to say good luck to you, David. It's a fantastic story to hear. Well done. I'm going to just jump in with one last question here. Is there an update on Pitbull performing on the Engage platform? And that comes from Alex Plant.
So with the Pitbull performance, we were disappointed that that didn't go ahead as well. They're going to do something on 2D. Pitbull, the event organizer themselves were actually going over and back with Pitbull. We had no interaction with Pitbull directly. So it's between herself and Pitbull, the event organizer, and Pitbull. It has absolutely nothing got to do with us. We're hoping that something will happen early next year, but again, we have so many other events that are happening as well. And Facebook themselves actually hosted events today, so I expect to hear some big news on events early next year. But we have nothing in the diary yet to say that it's happening.
Okay, my last question to you, David. You said you'd signed 1.8 million euros of business this year. Is this, do you mean one-off business or residual subscription or contracts?
It's all three. That's mostly recurring revenue contracts in that 1.8 million.
Okay. David, I'm very grateful to you for such a brief answer. Wow, you really brought that to life. Well done. For a man who doesn't like doing presentations, I thought that was incredibly good. And your Q&A, fantastic. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe.
Thank you. Have a good evening, David. And that's it. We hope to have a full program of at least 7 live webinars for you next year, so do look out for those. Tomorrow we'll send you slide packs from Power, from Cora, Zephyr, and the very wonderful David from VRE, and as well as a video link for the entire event. So watch out for those tomorrow, and we'll send individual presentations in the coming days. And a final brief plug for us. Don't forget to go to the London South East company chat boards and share the updates of all those extraordinary and amazing things that we've just seen over the past 4 presentations, and share some updates with those who couldn't make it tonight. Thank you very much indeed for staying with us to the end. It certainly wasn't bitter, not with David, and we're very grateful for your time. Good night and stay safe.